You guys, are we nearing the end of the whole lawsuit between Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively? Some people feel like they are going to settle, even though a couple weeks ago we were hearing reports that neither one of them were going to settle. So there is a lot being said right now, and Justin's team is responding to the judge dismissing his $400 million lawsuit against Blake, Ryan, and their publicist Leslie Sloan, and his $250 million lawsuit against the New York Times. His lawyer is saying this is not the end, even though Blake seems to be taking this as a total victory, but we are going to get into everything that has been said recently. Blake Lively was out this week following the news that Justin Baldoni's countersuit against her and other parties were dismissed by the judge. She stepped out at a Tribeca event proudly after having posted that she was taking this dismissal as a court victory. We'd previously talked about what she posted on our Instagram story, as she said, "Last week I stood proudly alongside 19 organizations united in defending women's rights to speak up for their safety. Like so many others, I felt the pain of a retaliatory lawsuit, including the manufactured shame that tries to break us. While the suit against me was defeated, so many don't have the resources to fight back. I'm more resolved than ever to continue to stand for every woman's right to have a voice in protecting themselves, including their safety, their integrity, their dignity, and their story. There are protections out there. Check out some of the incredible organizations below for resources and information. With love and gratitude for the many who stood by me. Many of you I know, many of you I don't, but I will never stop appreciating or advocating for you, B." Though the battle isn't over yet, as Justin's legal team has up until the 23rd to come up with a new plan of action. Justin's lawyer Brian Friedman broke his silence on the lawsuit update on Tuesday, talking to People, and they reported in a statement obtained by People Tuesday, June 10th, the It Ends With Us actor, director, lawyers Brian Friedman said Lively and her team's predictable declaration of victory is false. Friedman added, "This case is about false accusations of harassment and retaliation and a non-existent smear campaign, which Miss Lively's own team conveniently describes as untraceable because they cannot prove what never happened. Most importantly, Miss Lively's own claims are no truer today than they were yesterday, and with the facts on our side, we march forward with the same confidence that we had when Miss Lively and her cohorts initiated this battle and look forward to her forthcoming deposition, which I will be taking." Friedman added in his statement, "We are grateful for the organic show of support from the public and for the dedication of the internet sleuth community who continues to cover the case with discernment and integrity." And according to legal experts who spoke to People, Blake shouldn't celebrate just yet, as this isn't over. They wrote, "There's still a lot left in the trial court proceedings, including amendments to the pleadings." Gregory Dahl, attorney and partner at Dahl Amir in LA in Los Angeles, tells People, "As all litigators know, sometimes you win everything at trial only to see your case reversed on appeal," adds Dahl, who does not represent either party and is not involved in the case. "The decision is undoubtedly a blow to Baldoni," says Dahl, "but the case is far from over." The attorney continues, "One thing I've learned many times over as a litigator is not to celebrate too early," reiterating that the large majority of civil cases settle before trial. Dahl says this case is still highly likely to end in a settlement. That was true before this decision and after. Does this affect Lively's leverage in settlement negotiations? Yes. Is Baldoni going to fight back, including amending his complaint to try to make the tortious interference and implied covenant claims stick? Yes. First claim that Baldoni gets another shot at pleading, says Dahl, involves the accusation that WME clients Lively and Reynolds made threats to induce their agency to drop Baldoni as a client. WME has denied that allegation. The other involves an It Ends With Us contract between Lively and Wayfarer Studios, which Baldoni's team claimed enabled her to consult and approve aspects of the film, and that she did not exercise that right in good faith. Now, in terms of a settlement, just a week ago, we were hearing from Deadline that sources close to them were saying that there was just no chance of a settlement. But obviously, we're hearing from this legal source that People was talking to that this was highly likely to happen before and after this decision. Previously, Deadline reported sources on both sides have insisted to Deadline and the courts repeatedly and vehemently that there is no chance of a settlement now, with the high-profile Lively and Reynolds hauled way out of their carefully crafted comfort zone and WME dumped Baldoni's career now dead in the water in Hollywood. Now, because the door is open for revisions by Justin, many legal observers believe he will now amend his lawsuit to sharpen two specific accusations, specifically the ones involving allegations of professional sabotage and breach of contract tied to the It Ends With Us film. One claim centers on the allegation that Blake Lively and her husband, Ryan Reynolds, both clients of WME, used their influence to pressure the agency into cutting ties with Justin. Justin's team argues that threats were made to convince WME to drop him him, which could qualify as tortious interference. WME has denied this allegation, but it remains a major point of contention because losing agency representation, particularly from a powerhouse like WME, can seriously derail someone's career in Hollywood. And Justin was dropped the day after the New York Times article dropped that reported on Blake Lively's complaint against Justin Baldoni. In the lawsuit that he filed in December of last year, he specifically claimed that during the Deadpool and Wolverine premiere, Ryan personally approached his agent at WME and told them to drop him as a client. Justin's team was describing this as a calculated move, alleging that Ryan and Blake were using their power in Hollywood to try and sabotage his career and personal life. But like I said, WME denied this to be true. I will add that in addressing all of this, Ari Emanuel, CEO of Endeavor, WME's parent company, spoke out on a podcast and was quoted saying, "I've known Ryan and Blake for over a decade," Ari explained. "They're really incredible people in Hollywood. They have been incredibly successful. People work with them. They've never had any bad mojo out there or treated people badly. They are charitable. They've given tons of money away." He continued, "If what is alleged in her lawsuit that what happened on social media is true, just because she complained to the studio that things were unhealthy on set and that he was director and this man was the producer and they did to her what is being alleged, they're really bad people." Now, the second claim that Justin might revise involves Blake's contract with Wayfair Studios. According to his team, the contract gave her approval rights over key aspects of the film's production, and they argue that she didn't exercise those rights in good faith. And obviously, we have heard from him several times that he was saying that Blake was trying to take over the entire movie and did in the end take over the entire movie, and that his version of the movie was not what the public saw. Legally, this would fall under breach of the implied covenant of good faith and fair dealings. His side is suggesting that rather than using her approval rights to help the film, Blake may have used them in a way that hurt the project, whether through creative delays, obstruction, or intentional non-cooperation. If these claims are successfully refiled, they could become central to Justin's case moving forward. Now, in all of this news coming out this week, people thought that Justin's former podcast co-host Liz was speaking out negatively about him. When Blake Lively's accusations of harassment and retaliation against Justin became public in December, Liz had issued a statement saying that she was stepping away from the podcast with Justin. She posted on Instagram saying, "I'm writing to you today to let you know that I have had my representatives inform Wayfair that I will no longer be co-hosting the Man Enough podcast. Thank you for trusting me with your hearts and stories, for holding space for mine, and for making this show what it was. I will miss you, the listeners, so much. I love what this community created together with every fiber of my being, and that's because of you. As this chapter closes for me, I remain committed to the values we built together. Thank you for being here, for trusting me, and for being by my side for the last 4 years. We all deserve better, and I know that together we can create it. I will have more to share soon as I continue to process everything that has happened. In the meantime, I will continue to support everyone who calls out injustice and holds the people standing in their way accountable." She also wrote in the caption, "I will miss you. I will be sharing more soon. I appreciate your compassion and patience. I hope this comment section can be a place of support, respect, and kindness, a reflection of the community we've built together." Now, with the news of Justin's lawsuits getting dismissed, right before that, Liz had taken to Instagram to ask her followers to send in their boy problems for an upcoming episode of her new podcast, Boy Problems. And then she liked a comment that said, "I just saw the funniest boy problem get dismissed by a federal judge in New York, LOL." And she liked this and also commented LMFAO. Obviously, everyone was taking this as her kind of laughing about this happening to Justin, but she later claimed that she thought this was actually a comment about Donald Trump. And she wrote, "This story is fake. I responded to a comment assuming it was about Trump, you know, the guy actively dismantling democracy, because that's the boy problem I think about daily. Every time a conspiracy theory is fabricated about me, I get threats or doxed. Shame on the Daily Mail for printing this trash for clicks. Go touch grass." Though someone who is speaking out on all of this is Julia Fox, who shared her support for Blake Lively with the press this week. Daily Mail reported that at Tribeca Film Festival, she said, "I was very happy to hear the news about Blake Lively because I support women all the time. I support women when they're right. I support women when they're wrong. I support women when they're likable and when they're unlikable. I support women that I have nothing in common with," Fox said. 35 added, "I support women that I do have things in common with, and I'm going to support Blake." Fox said she has been a victim of the internet, so she relates to how the Gossip Girl alum has been treated. "I have seen the way that people have just been so inhumane," she told the outlet. So that is what has been said on the entire Blake and Justin lawsuit this week. I certainly want to know what you think about all of this, all the updates, the people speaking out. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I love you guys so much, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye, guys.